welcome back to my channel. So this was an interesting flight. I was flying back from Fort Wayne, Indiana to Orlando with a pretty full plane, which becomes important shortly. During this flight, my primary flight display, the Aspen 1000 EFD, was showing indications of the wrong heading, and also later in the flight, while I was in the clouds, also indicating the wrong attitude, which could be incredibly dangerous. Let's get in the air here, and I'll provide a little more details around what happened.
Full pressure, temperatures look good, and off we go. There's 50, there's 60, 70 knots, 77 knots, and up we go. You're up. Flats up.
Okay, so as I'm departing, I soon realize that something is not right. I know on departure what my heading should be, but my primary flight display is not showing the heading that I'm expecting. Right about here, I'm looking at my display, and I start realizing that something is not quite right. My MFD, the secondary display, has the ability to go into revisionary mode, and I hit that right about now. You can see now that I have a duplicate display side by side. My headings ended up looking something like this. You can see the primary on the left and the secondary on the right, which don't match at all. Those two headings at 291 and 179, those two headings should be identical. If they're not, one of those two indications is incorrect.
November 612 Alpha Bravo, Fort approach you up.
Fort approach, Malibu 612 Alpha Bravo is 2,700, climbing 4,000.
Alpha 612 Alpha Bravo, Fort approach, ident, climb and maintain 10,000.
Ident up to 10,000, Alpha Bravo.
November 2 Alpha Bravo, radar contact 4 miles east of the Auburn Airport in correction, climb and maintain 6,000.
Alright, up to 6,000 now, Alpha Bravo.
And 2 Alpha Bravo, altimeter 3014.
3014, Alpha Bravo.
All right, so I knew my PFD was incorrect. I knew the MFD, my secondary, was correct because I compared it to my compass, and I knew that it was indicating the correct headings. The PFD was correctly syncing with my autopilot, so as long as I was navigating with GPS, it was going in the right direction and going the right place, even though it was indicating the incorrect heading. The other really interesting thing that I noticed while this was happening was my GPS. If you notice the angle of the plane compared to the angle that I'm actually traveling, that makes absolutely no sense. And that's because the information being fed from my PFD was actually incorrect. It was telling my GPS that I was traveling in a different direction than I actually was. So bottom line, at this point, I knew the indications in the PFD were incorrect. I was using alternative indications. I was checking my MFD. I was checking my compass. As long as I was navigating by GPS, the plane was navigating totally fine. But I knew something was wrong, and I was watching it. Still didn't know exactly why it was doing it. I did some troubleshooting. There was nothing that I did that was able to resolve or really determine why the problem was happening at this point. So the rest of this flight was pretty uneventful. I did get down to my home airport. It was at night. It was dark. Approaches were not authorized at night. And I wasn't able to see the airport with the low overcast, so I ended up diverting to another close airport, and I landed there for the night. So I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to pick this up a few days later on a subsequent flight where I explain a little bit about what actually went wrong and what I determined the problem to be.
Several days later.
Currently halfway between New Orleans and Dallas, just off for a bit of a family trip for the long weekend. Took a couple days off last week, taking Monday off, so just a few days to go out and see a few different things and enjoy the plane with the family, since we really haven't done enough of that since we've had it. So anyway, had a fun night in New Orleans last night. Walked down Bourbon Street late at night with our 7-year-old daughter, which was so much fun. Went to Cafe Du Monde for a little late night snack. And took in a little bit of a very quick 20,000 foot view of New Orleans. Anyway, currently at 22,000 feet, just cruising on the way to Dallas, about halfway there. I wanted to bring a little bit of closure to the PFD MFD issue that I experienced the other day. So as I said earlier, the PFD, both the compass was off and the attitude was having some problems. Of course, I put the MFD in revisionary mode, and I used that. That was showing true according to the compass, and I knew that one was true and correct. So once I landed, I actually ended up diverting from the airport I was trying to land at, and landed at another airport, and then repositioned the plane early the next morning. Well, I had the problem the next day as well on repositioning the plane. But once I got home and I emptied out all the stuff from the plane that I was bringing back down from Indiana, the problem completely went away. So I did end up making an appointment down at the mechanic. I took the plane down there, but everything was working fine, of course, on the flight down there. So really wasn't too much to look at. Made a note for annual, which is coming up, to take another look at it. However, I realized a day or two later that I had 4 speakers with pretty powerful magnets sitting in the back cargo space, which was just under the RSM. The RSM is a remote sensor module. It's connected to my PFD and actually feeds it my headings, magnetic information. So I think what happened was that those magnets were actually throwing off the RSM, and the plane was unable to determine the correct magnetic heading. Once I took all that stuff out of the plane, everything was working fine. So interesting note, if you're going to put highly magnetic baggage in your plane, know where your RSM is, know where your sensors are, and maybe don't put it too close to that. Had I put those speakers in the front baggage compartment, I'm sure I would not have had an issue. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to have it checked out again. I'm going to keep an eye on it. You know, I did add to my pre-flight checks now. I'm being very, very careful to, or I guess careful is not the word, thorough is the word, to always put my MFD in revisionary mode, check both my headings, check them with the compass, make sure everything is true and correct, which I wasn't being as on top of as I should have been, you know, since you have the old rotating compass card, right? That's wrong all the time when you start up the plane. Anyway, so that's that. Having a pretty uneventful flight here so far. Just cruising along about 200 knots with a 30 or so knot headwind. So, you know, our ground speed is a little bit lower, but hopefully we'll make up for that on the way back. I haven't spent a lot of time flying directly east and west. Typically it's north and south. So really getting to see the impacts of the easterly winds. I guess westerly winds, which blow west to east. Anyway, that's it for now. I thought I'd wrap that up and hopefully put that to bed.
Well, definitely a valuable lesson learned here is to check the heading on the PFD against both the MFD and the compass. Just because the device is digital doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to be correct. Anyhow, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more videos shortly. See ya!
Come and fly away with me. sound asleep. Something's gonna bring the change. Journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away. Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I, jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die. So come and fly, come and fly, come and fly away with me. We're rising, we're falling, we're making through. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000 views.
We're rising, we're falling, we're making through. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000 views.
Come and fly away, come and fly away, come and fly away with me. Come and fly away, come and fly away, come and fly away with me. Something's gonna bring the change. Journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly